Unboxing, first impressions, nah, not here. Here I'm gonna actually use this the same way you would. And I know, shocking, right? I had to buy my own iPad. Apple seems this year sent the iPad or every Apple product to pretty much every single creator under the sun. But anyway, it seems like they want their positive reviews, right? I'm Alex and I do down-to-earth tech videos. Anyway, let me show you what the hell you're actually able to do with the new M4 iPad Air. And if you're sitting there, wallet in hand, ready to buy this thing, but you're not sure whether to get this or the iPad Pro or even the previous M4 iPad Pro, I'll show you why. That's a very valid question. Now, I'm not just gonna be sat here in the studio, beautifully lit, well, not beautifully, but properly lit, and barely using this thing. Let's just go and see how this works out there in the wild, because let's be honest, an iPad, especially the Air, is meant to be a very portable computer, right?
And I love the iPad Air for its portability as well. If I'm going for a quick weekend break or holiday, I find myself reaching for the iPad Air way more than the iPad Pro these days. For chilling on the sofa or at a cafe, or even at a hotel with a glass of wine, the iPad Air just makes a lot more sense.
Touch ID to unlock, it's one of my favorite features on the iPad Air. I think we had that since the original one, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I wish we had that on the big iPad Pros as well.
It's nothing revolutionary or that other devices don't have, but unlocking by Touch ID for me is just a great feature. When the iPad is sitting flat on the desk or you're holding at a weird, on a sofa at an angle or maybe even outdoors, Face ID on the Pro can sometimes struggle to find your face. Don't get me wrong, I love Face ID too, and I wish we had both, but this is nice. Most of the time, your finger kind of rests there naturally anyway, even if you're holding like that, it's kind of easy. It's tactile, it's fast, and it just works.
By the way, this is not something I'd ever do, but I just thought I'd show you that it is possible in, outdoors play on these devices. This is the M4 iPad Pro, and I'll show you on screen how it compares from a display perspective and kind of the visuals of this game. This is a very kind of high intensity game. Yeah, let's see. I think obviously size-wise it's better to play with a smaller 11-inch device, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like.
Before we start gaming, I just wanted to show the settings I'm using here. I haven't changed too much, but I left the frame rate on the iPad Air at extremely high rather than ultra. And on the Pro, because it has the promotion display, you are able to go a little bit harder and set it to ultra. Does it make that much of a difference? Visually, yes, it's a bit smoother on the iPad Pro in terms of the frame rate, but performance-wise, very marginal, if any difference. As you can see here, side by side, both are performing great, no lags, drop frames or anything like that, really smooth playing. That glare on the display is a little bit annoying though on both iPads, but considering playing outdoors without having to squint or struggle is saying something.
The display is a 600 nits peak brightness display, but that spec means nothing, right? Here's what it looks like outdoors against the M4 iPad Pro, for example.
What we're looking at here is a Liquid Retina panel. I mean, they're trying really hard not to say that it is a very regular, 60 Hertz or whatever. But it does have 600 nits of peak brightness, which doesn't sound like a lot, but as you'll see here, side by side with the M4 and M5 iPad Pros. Obviously the Pro has the deep OLED contrast and the beautiful ProMotion 120 Hz display, but honestly, unless you are doing a review like this and holding them side by side, the Air display is fantastic. It's plenty sharp, vibrant, and it now supports Apple Pencil Pro as well, which is great for creatives.
If you go to the extreme though and really have the sun blasting on the screen, then it really will depend on what you're trying to do. Some darker pages or content will be quite tricky to see. And talking about the display,
something that makes the display far nicer from an experience perspective without emptying your wallet as well is today's sponsors, Paperlike. If you use the iPad for notes, sketches, freeform diagrams, Procreate, or just as a content consumption device as well, Paperlike has always been awesome, and their new Paperlike 3 is just on another level. It rejects smudges and fingerprints, making the screen way easier to keep clean. That's very important as well if you share your iPad at home with kids or whatever. And applying Paperlike isn't scary anymore. They now have this new innovative butterfly application system. It basically prevents dust and air bubbles from getting trapped under the screen as you're installing it. They spent a long time perfecting this, and boy,
they delivered. As you're installing it, you can actually watch a video on the iPad itself to guide you through the process. It couldn't be easier. Plus, you get 2 in a pack, so you can share with a loved one or keep a spare for future use. It adds just the right bit of texture so your Apple Pencil stops skating on the glass and giving that really annoying, kind of slidey feeling. Paperlike gives you way cleaner handwriting, but also much more accurate drawing. And here's what's really nice about Paperlike as well. They give you a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, so basically, you don't have much to lose. Use the link in the description today to grab yours, and thank you so much Paperlike for sponsoring this video. Alright, let's talk about raw power. The M4 chip in this thing is ridiculous. For a device this thin, it's an 8-core CPU, a 9-core GPU. The M4 chip in this thing is ridiculous. For a device this thin, I mean, even the M1, M2 are already kind of overkill for the thin iPad Air. Let me tell you a secret though, this device gets extremely hot, but I'll get to that in a moment.
I did notice though that in certain apps, while it's possible to use them, when you push the parameters a bit and have it, kind of sweat a little bit more, you do see why certain workflows require the extra performance of the iPad Pro. It's interesting, right? Because while both are M4 chips, the number of cores both on CPU and GPU varies. Interestingly, the GPU on the iPad Air has 10 cores versus the 9-core GPU on the M4 iPad Pro.
Up to 120 gigabytes per second for memory bandwidth, awesome stuff, and a significantly faster neural engine for all of those AI tasks that Apple Intelligence is eventually bringing to us. But specs are just numbers on a page, benchmark stuff, I don't really do those things, but how fast is it really? Let's see how they compare in the real world. First up, I thought let's use some creative apps. Let's kind of load up some projects in Feather 3D or Nomad Sculpt, both on the Air and the Pro, and see how they behave. I'm not going to try the M5 iPad Pro too much because that's a silly comparison really, but between the M4 iPad Pro and M4 iPad Air, I think from a price perspective and what you're getting between both, that I think is a more relevant test for you.
As I alluded to earlier, certain hiccups won't manifest themselves unless you really push the parameters. In Procreate, for example, it's not so much whether you can use it or not, but how many layers of high-resolution canvases you can create, for example 4K canvases, and the bottleneck in that scenario is actually RAM, not CPU or GPU. As you can see though, most people would be absolutely fine with the iPad Air for regular work on these apps, and this is the iPad Air base model.
What about something a bit more taxing on the CPU and GPU, like video editing and other stuff as well? A lot of you may want to use this for creating content or even just editing a few reels on Instagram. Let's do a 4K video export, same files, same timeline, same export settings. Let's go.
Starting this test with the iPad Air, it is a straightforward 4K 60 video export, nothing crazy, at the highest possible quality in Capcut. I did the same test in LumaFusion before, so I thought, let's do something a little bit more relatable to the iPad Air, something that a lot more people use, not just pros. To give you an idea, there are 700 million plus monthly active users on Capcut.
So the M4 iPad Air took 8 minutes 25 seconds, and it feels a little bit warm. It doesn't actually feel that hot. Let's see how long it takes to do that on the M4 iPad Pro.
3, 2, 1, go.
So the M4 iPad Pro just finished exporting the same video, exactly the same length, exactly the same resolution, and it did it in 7 minutes 07, which is less than 2 minutes faster than the iPad Air. And this is the sort of thing that kind of makes you question, are those 2 minutes enough for you to warrant getting the iPad Pro? This is just one example, but as you've seen throughout this video, there's not much different to the M4 iPad Pro.
Now remember what I said about how warm the iPad Air gets? Yeah, it's a good 10 degrees Fahrenheit hotter after exporting that video or after using, kind of playing a game for like 30-40 minutes. And looking into why this might be, I found that the iPad Air lacks the more advanced copper-based thermal dissipation sheets that the Pro uses to spread heat across the chassis. But it's nothing alarming. I mean, if it was over 100, I'd probably be more concerned, but it's just something to note.
So the power clearly is there. Of course, some limitations, but power is useless if the software holds it back. Thankfully, iPadOS has finally got to a point where I can recommend it. If you're using this for productivity, you need to be using Stage Manager, that's kind of by the by. But within that, what I really appreciated Apple doing is windowed apps. If you've ever used Samsung DeX or saw this channel, I'm always banging on about DeX on Android. it's a very similar concept. You don't have to keep minimizing apps or constantly swiping to Command Tab between them. And definitely check out this video I did about the iPad apps. There are some great hidden gems in there. I originally did it for the iPad Pro, but fun fact, I tried all of those apps on the iPad Air and they all performed extremely well. And from a multitasking perspective, you can have your research open in Safari, 10, 15 tabs, all on the left, for example, a Word doc or whatever, on Apple Notes on the right, and even a music or YouTube video floating on the corner. Apple, how should I say this diplomatically? They're renowned for stopping apps in the background. They aggressively do that on the iPhone, but when you are running multiple apps in this window app setup, there's nowhere to hide, and I'm so glad that Apple has allowed us to do this and we have this on the iPad now. And because of the M4 chip, you can plug this iPad straight into an external monitor or even a TV if you want to. Notice how I didn't say this will replace your laptop, because you might say, well, everything that you said here, Alex, is great, but I can just get the MacBook Neo for that same price as well, for that use. And I'd agree, right? For the same price, it's hard to argue. But that's another video. Ultimately, I think that if you need a laptop, you need a laptop. This tablet is great for tablety things, including some pro work as well, which is a great add-on, and can get you out of jail as well if you need to use it as a desktop every now and then. A laptop, on the other hand, can't really be used as a tablet. Not an Apple laptop anyway, but you know what I mean. So we come to the point of this video. What's the kind of the final question that you might be having here? With the iPad lineup being so confusing right now, where does this fit? Who is this for? And there are some considerations, right? First, why not just get the cheaper A16 or A17 base iPad? Honestly, you get the Air because you want it almost as an investment, right? You want an iPad that is gonna last you performance-wise 5, 6, maybe even 7 years without breaking a sweat. You might want to venture into creative work later, like video editing, 3D modeling, digital art. And I'm not saying you can do all of those things really well on the iPad Air, but I'm saying at the very least, it gives you the headroom to at least start in those areas. It's the perfect device if you don't want to buy a laptop, but you still want a powerful, light, incredibly capable, portable computer. And the second thing to consider as well is, why not the M4 iPad Pro? Who is that actually for? Well, this is where I can see some people justifying the Pro. And that probably fit into that category as well, because I just like, the more powerful stuff for my tech nerdy stuff. If you get the Air, ultimately you don't get Face ID, the display is not as buttery smooth as the display on the Pro, and if you move massive files around on external SSDs, the Air has only a 10 gigabit USB-C port, whereas the Pro has a Thunderbolt port capable of 40 gigs per second. So, which is why I said, you can start those activities being, working in creative workflows, but really to operate at a pro level, you're gonna need faster speeds. If you edit 4K video directly off of a hard drive, for example, of course, you will notice that. If you don't do video editing or plan on working on like 3D heavy files, then none of that will matter to you, in which case the Pro is not gonna give you much more extra apart from that better display. At the end of the day, the M4 iPad Air for me is just a sweet spot. Just like the previous iPad Air, Apple did it again basically. This thing has more power than iPadOS currently knows what to do with. It supports the absolute best accessories like the Pencil Pro, the Magic Keyboard, and it does it all for a much more reasonable price than the iPad Pro. Would I recommend it? Yes, for Apple users, absolutely. If you're not in the Apple ecosystem though, you might want to check out my next video where I review the best Android tablets out there today. Don't forget to check out Paperlike in the link down below, and let me know, are you Team Air or Team Pro this year? See you in the next one. Cheers.